On today's episode of Nerds Forever, we're going to be talking about God of War, Norse mythology, and how we are too young to be playing M-rated games. Don't forget, we're going to be testing our guests with some nerdy trivia. All that here and now on Nerds Forever. So, welcome to my podcast. I wanted to talk about God of War because I don't know how, but I avoided it my whole life. Actually, I do know why. But then you also gave it to me in 2018 to play, and then I just got so busy. And then
Yep.
now that it's like the sequel coming out, I was like, you know what? Let me give this a try. As you can see, I'm in full on Kratos. So
Yeah.
before we get into like the meat of it, can you let people know who you are, where they can find you on social media? What do you do?
Hey everyone. My name is Reed. I go by Reed's Props Plus on the internet. Cosplayer, professional cosplayer, prop maker, and overall nerd and massive God of War fan. And
Yeah.
Isaac invited me to talk about God of War because as he's been playing, he's been talking to me about the game and whatnot. And I'm like just trying to tell him about stuff and try not to spoil stuff. But yeah, he invited me on here, and I'm very excited to talk about God of War today.
Nice. And like as you said, a prop maker. I mean, look behind you. Like, how many do you have?
Props in general, or just like,
Yeah, that you've
oh
made.
god, too many walls, just
That's
walls of
so
stuff
filled.
for God of War.
Oh my. Okay. Whoa.
So
Okay,
I
so you
got
have his blades, you have the Leviathan axe, you have Thor's hammer, you have what's the guy's name's head?
Mimir.
Mimir. Yeah. So have you like finished your God of War cosplay yet, or are you
No.
working on it? No.
So I was gonna make the 2018 costume,
Yeah.
and started it, but just life and other cosplays. But I made all the weapons. So I have level 1 to 5 Blades of Chaos, and then a level 1 axe. Sorry, that was the airbrush. And with the new game, I got the collector's edition, so I got the Mjolnir, and then I
Yeah.
made the Mimir
The
head.
head. Wow. So you must have really liked it if you like spent hours making,
Oh
because
yeah.
that takes a lot of time.
I I'm like a fan of video games, but I'm always more how do I say? I'm more inclined to play a game with where it's very story based
Yeah, yeah, me too.
or a lot of lore. And growing up, probably shouldn't have, but growing up, I played the 1 to 3, and I really
Yeah.
liked them. Greek mythology, I'm a big fan of Greek mythology, but then Norse mythology is my favorite. And then they announced that they're doing God of War 2000. I think it was like 17 or 16 or 17. They announced it, and I was like, "What? It's God of War," which is Greek, but also Norse. And I was like, "Oh!" So I got very excited. Played the game. It's like definitely my favorite video game.
Nice.
Um, and now Ragnarok is out.
Right?
Played it, beat it, loved it.
Oh my
You
gosh.
how are you? Have you started it yet? Or
No, so
okay,
because I played it and like I want to make like my social media clips for it, like I want to
yeah.
edit them and then give myself like a good break, but I definitely want to play it because I don't want to be spoiled. I'm grateful that I haven't been spoiled with like the
The
things that
fact
got
you
revealed
haven't,
to me in the
honestly, that's
2018
awesome
one.
because
Right? I don't
it's
know
a
how. But also it's funny how you said that you shouldn't have played the 1 through 3 because the reason why I avoided them my whole life is because of the M rating. Like my
oh
first
yeah, 100%.
yeah. So my first like M-rated video game was Tomb Raider in 2013, and I was buying it, and then the EB Games person was like looking at my mom, was like, "Are you okay with your kid playing this?" And I was like, "She better be,"
Are
because
you
like I
allowing your
love
child
Lara
to buy
Croft.
this game?
So finally, I was just like, I love Greek mythology. Let me dive right into this. But this one takes
Oh,
place in
it's
Norse
so good.
mythology. So as I'm playing this, I'm like, I feel like there's stuff that I'm missing. So I got like a whole recap. Obviously, was asking you as well. So I really enjoyed the game,
Yeah.
and I wanted to dive in on like you've already explained like what your connection is to. You love Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology too. Weren't supposed to be playing it, but you did.
Yeah, like I
So
well the original games I
yeah.
would like sneak in playing, like, especially the earlier two. First of all, the God of War lore and the whole Greek saga is so convoluted. There's so
Yep.
much crazy stuff, now, after
Yeah, I was watching the
research.
YouTube
It
videos. I
just
was
there's a
like,
lot that
what?
just doesn't make sense. I feel like the newer stuff really grounded it and made it a
Yeah,
bit more um what's the word? Not edible, but like
digestible.
digestible.
Yeah, yeah,
Just the
yeah.
more clear cut story, father and son kind of arc. But the original ones, there's like, it's nuts. And
It's
if you're
nuts.
watching this, if you know God of War, yeah, the game's the nuts. But I would go to my cousin's house, and he was like 5 to 10 years older than me, and he would be playing them all, and I would watch him play, and then he would like hand me the controller, and I'd be like this like little kid hacking up like harpies or monsters. Or I remember God of War 3 was the one where it was just the boss kills were just insane,
Brutal.
and yeah. And then
Yeah.
getting older, I'm allowed to buy it on my own, and then I
Yeah.
got 2018 one, and then Ragnarok. I was ready for that, and
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. I'm so excited to play that because like I think so I played the 2018 one and that I did like
Yeah,
20 hours worth, but like I mean I'm a sucker for the whole like father narrative of like
yeah,
cold-hearted father and it's like trying to bond with his son, but like he's like
detached
yeah,
like
detached, has like
monster.
such trauma. So I
Yeah,
really love the adventure of that, but then also just like the combat and like the brutalness of it. Like
so
when Kratos would like go into Spartan rage, I was just like, yo, don't mess with me, man.
it's so good. I can't wait for you to play Ragnarok, because the mechanics and stuff in the first game are amazing.
Yeah.
There's a few kinks here and there, but all of the issues that were from the first game, combat wise, were fixed and added upon in the next game. So it
Really?
makes it so much more like, which is saying something because it already was amazing. But like the
Yeah, I was
mechanics
about to
of
say,
the
I was
new
like, can
game
you
are so sick.
oh my gosh. So like, can you say it without spoiling? Because I didn't see any issues when I was like playing the first one.
It's like really small stuff. Like I think like when you jump off something and you do like an
Okay.
attack, there's like new stuff to that, and then there's new blade mechanics and new. It's just they
Nice,
make
nice.
it more, which is saying something, and they make it more natural, even though it was super natural in the original. Every new video game. I gotta say, as someone who doesn't play as much video games,
Yeah.
um, really at all. Like the last big game I played before God of War Ragnarok was God of War, so it's been a couple of years before I played a couple games seriously. Um, there to me, there's not really much of a difference in
Wow.
both quality and stuff. But looking into it more, I found out that there was like different changes to the gameplay and whatnot. But it was, yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
I could go on, but
Yeah,
let's
totally.
go.
I mean, like, what do you think? Like, what do you think was the like? I don't know the marketing for this one because obviously with how God of War 3 ended, it's like I don't think this is gonna continue. But then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's like, oh my God, he's alive, and it's
Um,
like, how do you think they rebooted him or like
I think the
especially since
time helped. I
yeah
don't remember when God of War 3 came out, what year it came out, but I think it's been like, I feel like it's been over 10 years, but I'm not sure. So
yeah
the time really lets it let it breathe.
that
Let
was
the
2010.
There you go. So 12 years? Wait, 2022. You said what? 2010?
2010 was God of War 3, and then
Okay, so yeah, 12 years.
2018, yeah.
That's enough time, I think, to because the franchise had been going so strong for so long, and it has its fan base. And a big thing with the new game is what you're like, you already said, the father son dynamic. And Cory Barlog, the director of the original of the 2018 game, he even said it when he was creating the game. Like, I've grown up. Like, I used to be like a 20-ish, 30-ish teenager playing the other games, making the other games. And
Yeah.
now I'm like a dad. Now I have my own kid. Now I understand kind of the pitfalls of your past, and then kind of what's it called? Kind of growing into to become a better person for your kid. And I think, especially knowing how insane Kratos' story is, seeing that progression from that
Yeah.
to boy, like Papa Kratos, like
Boy.
it really shows that it used to be kind of like a rage hack and slash, very visceral game, but now it became like more like a story based, um like still very much so with the hack and slash, as that's what the game's roots are. But story based itself, it really matured as a franchise and as a game, and
Yeah.
I think that appeals a lot more than rated M. chopping up gods and
Yeah.
yada yada yada. It warranted as a kid. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
now I'm like, I appreciate the like the heart, the more heart in the story versus.
Yeah. Because like what I remember is like walking into like GameStop and seeing like the back of the cover, and it's like this gigantic god or this creature, and then you see like Kratos like
Yeah,
leap it into
it's
action.
it's
So
very
what do you think?
intense.
What do you think, like being a fan of the originals and then coming into this one where it's like like he's a father now, because we know that he was rageful because he lost his family. So what was that dynamic like where you actually get to see him, being a father figure?
Uh, it's like no matter how evil or how bad or what you've done, you deserve second chances. And I
Mm,
really think for Kratos, like this was his second chance. Like Calliope and his wife, like Ares tricked him. He killed his own family.
yeah.
Really dark story. So much pain, so much anguish, and he literally wipes the slate clean and then gets a second chance to live a new life. But he also doesn't want to stop it. He doesn't want to like let his past affect his new life. So that's why he's
Yeah.
like very distant and very like disconnected from Atreus. But over the story, he's like, shit, I have a second chance. Like I get to, and uh I want to talk Ragnarok, but I don't want to like do
Yeah.
anything crazy. But like Faye, his wife, she also wants that. Like she wants Kratos to, even though you have your past, you can still be there like for this kid, because if not,
Yeah.
he'll die. You're in the middle of Midgardian wilderness, and like
Yeah.
you got to teach him, but also your past doesn't define who you are.
Yeah.
And this game, like from past to present, is like the perfect segue, I think, especially for the
Nice.
father son dynamic, because it's like, hey, I used to be a murdering psychopath, god killing rage monster, and now I'm man of very few words. It's a trauma response. Like
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
finish,
I could like the way
yeah,
that he wanted to, like, for example, like in the early gameplay of the 2018 one, where he's teaching him how to like hunt and like to kill like the deer, and
yeah,
then he wanted to like comfort him, and then he just pulled his arm back because he wants to be like emotionally connected with his child, but then he's like
yeah.
not ready there himself. So it's that like
And
there
then
were so
also he's a
many.
Spartan, right? So like you're not
Yeah,
allowed to have emotion. Not allowed to have, if you show emotion, you die. Whereas like
literally.
it's like that's dead. That is all dead. Like you
Yeah.
need to be there for your kid versus I like seeing on that. That's also the shift of maturing with the franchises as well as the
Yeah.
character. The dynamic of Kratos, like as a character, he's like Master Chief, Lara Croft, like some of the greatest video game characters of all
Yeah,
time. Hands
iconic.
down, Kratos, he's up there. He's
Yeah.
definitely up there. It's amazing.
Oh man. So, what was I gonna say now? Um, so when because you obviously love like Norse mythology, like what do you like when they announced that it was gonna be like in this type of mythology? Did you have like any expectations, or like were they met, or
Oh
how do you
yeah,
think they
I
handled that
I
mythology?
had expectations through Marvel. Like
Yeah.
that's I feel like that's where general audiences get their knowledge of uh Norse mythology, unless you're
Yeah.
like a fan of history or a fan of like uh other mythologies. I got my most of my kind of knowledge of Norse mythology through school as well as like just own research, but then also with Marvel, I was like, "Oh, Thor's cool. Oh, Odin's cool." And then like you look into it more. And I expected Thor, obviously. I wanted Odin, um, like Fenrir, like all like the main staples
The
of Norse
yeah,
mythology from the poems and stuff
the
that you like.
well-known ones.
Exactly. I'm like you
Yeah.
as like a Norse fan, you always want to see it, but like there's some things, and especially in Ragnarok, but even the original game, um, that's it's nice to see homages to it, but also like it's obviously not super accurate. Like it's a video
Yeah.
game
They gotta
throwing
take their
this
own
guy that
creative
doesn't exist
liberty.
into, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
throwing it into the stories, but the way they did it,
Oh
chef's kiss,
wow,
I like.
exciting.
It's nice. Like it's not pin for pin for pin, super accurate, super
Yeah.
perfect, But if you're going in as a fan of the franchise to be like, this needs to be historically accurate to dorsal
No.
knowledge, it's like, no, you want it to feel natural. You want it to flow as a story, and
Yeah.
damn, it does that. It's
Oh
good.
wow. Cause like so I've grown up on like Greek mythology. So like I
Yeah,
know it like the back of my hand. So going into this one with Norse mythology, I was just like, I only know Thor and Loki. That's all I knew. So going in with it and they're like walking around and like you like read stuff and like you learn like the lore. They made Odin seem like such like this, threat. And
yeah,
I was just like, I don't know much about this guy. Like, is he gonna show up in this game? Like, I'm kind of scared. And then you get like tidbits about like his children and like his children's kids and like his ex-wife, and like you really just like you get meddled into it, and then obviously towards the end of the game, shit hits the fan, and I was just like, I don't think we should have done that. Like I spent like a good like 10 minutes just like, I don't think we should have done that. Because
was
I'm
that
like, I
really
don't know
deep?
much about these people, but like it seems like they can like f shit up.
Like, I feel like now, because the 2018 game has been out for so long, even Ragnarok now, like we could technically, but you haven't played it, so we will
Yeah,
not.
I have to spend like 20 hours and I want to. I know, but like it's just the way that things are lining up for the end of the year for me. I'm just gonna
I
start it in
feel
the
you.
new
The end
year.
of the year is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's why, like, that's when I got it. It was Ragnarok for like a week to 2 weeks straight. I'm just trying to play it, trying to
Yeah.
beat it, and now epilogue stuff, and it's like now that I've played it, it's out of the way. I can now like go back when I have more. But like, yeah, dude,
So
I get.
how many hours did Ragnarok take? Because to beat the
Um,
main game for me for the 2018 one, it was about 20 something hours.
they said for the new game it takes between 25 to 60 hours to beat the full one. I'm one of those people who like if a side quest pops up, I'm like, oh okay, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
main
yeah.
wait for a little bit. I'll do a little bit of the side quest stuff
I love doing side quests.
without like doing major spoilers. Like there's a portion in Ragnarok, a decent portion of the story pops up in Vanaheim and Alsafheim, I believe. I always mess up the pronunciation,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, hold on. Pause real quick
it's
because
really yeah,
every time they had like a tracer like right in the journal, I
yeah.
was so butchering the names of stuff. I was like, let me just skip
Oh,
that word.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, continue.
some stuff is ridiculous. And like there's a part in Ragnarok where like you can do a lot of main story stuff, but like after a while it kind of doesn't hit a roadblock because there's still lots of stuff to do, but you need a higher level and it's just easier if you
Oh,
once you're higher level. But when you get to this specific point, it really deviates, and then I spent like an extra 10 to 20 hours just
yeah.
for that, just to get it out of the way so I don't have to do it later. And
Yeah.
I think I finished the game at like 45 to 50 hours
Wow.
just because I spent a little extra time. But if I pushed through the side stuff, I probably could have finished it in like 30-35 hours.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I want to put the extra
Enjoy the
time
game.
into the side
Yeah.
stuff. But I think right now I'm at like 70.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yo.
it's like,
So,
yeah,
because like I
it's a
wanted to
lot bigger
definitely.
than the first one.
Sorry, what'd you say?
It's a lot bigger than the first one,
Oh
but
yeah.
also has a lot of the epilogue stuff. So
Because
yeah,
like I love to like spend so many hours in video games. Like the one that I've done the most, back to back, I streamed Horizon Zero Dawn and then Horizon Forbidden West, both 50 hours of
yeah,
playthrough
those
for
ones,
me.
and those are
Those ones
big
are huge.
story ones, right?
But yeah, and then I streamed those ones, but I loved it so much I was just gonna like just stream it. I don't care how long it took. But
Yeah,
then this one, because I was doing like a mechanic where I was taking a shot every time he said
yeah.
boy, I was just like, I just want to get through the story because
Cognitive ability after a little while.
yeah, literally, I was just like, I was like playing around fighting, and like I swear I was just like, whoa, what's going on here? But like also, I didn't want to like go on like a side quest, and he says like boy like 5 other times. I'm like, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no, no. We need to get this main story done.
like definitely in the beginning of the game, he says it a lot more.
Oh,
Every little while he says it, but yeah, Oh my god, I can only imagine because you already did a lot, so it's just
Yo, it was fun, but at the same time, like I would finish pouring, take the shot and play, and then he would say it again, and I was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, he
like,
had the name, and
God
I
damn it.
and like as a newcomer, like I'm like, I don't know what this kid's name is. I'm just gonna call him Boy. And then when he started to like gradually say like Atreus, I was like, "That's your name." Oh, okay.
You're not just child,
Yeah.
boy.
Boy, but I will credit like the writing, the people who like chose to do that purposely. Like it's funny, but also it goes to add to Kratos character development, like him as like a father. Like it's like he wants to be a father, but he's also scared because he's also had the opportunity but then lost it. So it's like it's like I'm just relating this to Walking Dead, how what's his name?
Rick.
No.
Girl?
Daryl, yes, Daryl. He has a dog, and the dog's name is just Dog.
That's
The reason
all.
why he does it is because
Later
if it
seasons.
dies, he doesn't want to get attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
This is
that
the
makes
later
sense, and
seasons.
it's like that's so sad, but it adds to the character development.
When does he? Oh, is that like later? Like Daryl gets a dog later in the show.
Yeah, that is. It's so many people like gave up on that show, and
I
I
gave
just
up on
kept through
it.
it. You know, okay.
A huge Walking Dead fan, but I still gave up on him.
Yo, side
I
note
might
about the
watch
show.
eventually.
So it ended and I watched it. And
Yeah.
then at the end of it, it's like 4 more shows. The Walking Dead universe just got bigger. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is like 100+
Walking Dead
episodes.
Plus.
Yeah. And now they announced 4 spinoffs. I'm like, are you joking?
Because I know they had the Morgan, the Fear the Walking Dead one.
Yeah.
Clip from that where it's like, I don't have. Do you watch that one?
No, because I
Okay,
was just like,
it's
it's
like
too much.
Morgan. Sorry, people, right now watching this God of War podcast. You gotta go Walking Dead spoiler.
So what I want to do is I like to do this thing I call nerdy feud on the podcast. So I'm gonna ask you some God of War trivia and I'm gonna put you to the test.
Oh God.
All right. So
Of
first
course.
question. I'm gonna do a multiple choice so you have options.
Okay.
So first question. Why is Kratos so pale? A, allergic to sunlight. B, died too many times. C, covered in the ashes of his dead family. Or D, he was locked away for too long.
Because he needs to get some sun and sun. He needs to
Yeah,
get
I was like,
Kratos is white because he was cursed. Oh God, was it by the fates? I think, or Ares or someone or Athena. After he killed his family, the ashes of them was put on him, and that he was known as the Ghost of Sparta.
yes, correct. You know, it's funny. So playing playing the game on Twitch, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
let me get into cosplay. And then when I was doing my research on the lore and I figured out why he's white, I was like,
Yeah. You're like,
I felt
oh,
yeah, I was like, that's so dark.
it's so dark. Like it makes so much sense though why like us as kids like we're never allowed to play like there
No.
I think it's God of War 1 or 2. There's a mini game where you like
Yeah.
have sex with people on the boat and you have to click buttons. Classic PS2 gameplay.
Oh, you know, it's funny because like I always say to people, they're like, oh, the early 2000s was like so controversial. I'm like, but it's a perfect like time capsule of that time because it was just like, yep, let's just put that game out there. But it's like,
Joke like, oh, 2006 of you like there's just something about the early 2000s that's so
messed up.
the 2000s were a wild time.
Right, next question. What is the name of Kratos' wife? A, Lysandra. B, Aphrodite. C, Faye. Or D, Alexandra.
It's obviously girl. No, just it's Faye, woman. It's Faye. Good
yeah. Well, this was also a trick question because it has two answers because his first wife was Lysandra and then his second wife was Faye.
I didn't know. I was
Yeah.
This is a 28 trivia, yeah.
Yeah. I got
This is
you.
a 2018 trivia.
All right, next question. Why does Kratos have his red tattoo? A, it's tradition in his family. B, it's a tradition in the Spartan army. C, it's symbolic of his younger brother. Or D, it's symbolic of his allegiance to Ares.
It's symbolic of his younger brother, Deimos.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's also when I was doing the red mark of it too, and then I learned that I was like, that's really dark.
It's also super difficult because then you gotta like put it all the way down your back, around your
Yo,
arm.
I eventually want to do like a Kratos cosplay, but just the makeup alone, like
Yeah,
whoever does it, props to you because that's
that's
intense.
like I'm trying to find a way to work around that. I have an idea, but we'll
Get
see.
the real tattoo.
Oh, not get that, but I was low because I want to get tattoos. I was thinking about getting
The Leviathan axe.
this no the scarring of the chains. I was
Oh,
like, you know what, that would
that's
be a lot,
dope.
but that would be so cool. Like imagine
Yeah.
get it like well done. Obviously, you want to get it well done if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna,
yeah, yeah.
but play Ragnarok. God damn it, I want
Oh,
that.
geez.
But
Oh my gosh.
you've seen it in the 2018 game. He takes off his bandages and
Yeah.
stuff, and you see the scars. I just think
Yeah.
that would be cool.
That
Like,
that was a moment because like when I got like the blades of chaos in the game, I was like, yo, this is so cool. I wish I did this as a kid. And then when he finally took it off, he's like, I don't have anything to hide anymore. I was like,
yeah,
oh, good for you. Side note, my friend has the Leviathan axe as a tattoo. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I want to get like I want both of my arms done, but I can never decide on what I want.
Yeah.
So I want either like a nerdy sleeve and probably just two nerdy sleeves. But
Yeah.
again, it's like it's so hard trying to figure out. So it's just getting pushed off.
Okay, next question.
Next question.
Who is Kratos' father? A. Apollo, B. Ares, C. Zeus, or D. Kronos?
It's D. D's nuts. No, I'm joking. It is Zeus.
Yes.
Who's my father? Was the
Now, when you played that originally, did you see that coming, or was it obvious, or like?
as a Greek mythology fan, Zeus is a I can't swear, right?
You can. I'll blurp it. I'll bleep it out.
Fucking whore.
Yeah.
And if you know about mythology, he will transform into literally anything to get in a woman's pants. So playing the other games, I knew it was his dad,
Yeah.
but one of my favorite parts in the 2018 game is when they're in Helheim
Yes.
and on
That
the
was
boat,
sick.
and in the distance, Kratos, who's that? My dad. What the hell? Like, it's just I like that they brought that back. They didn't just be like, all right, he's done with Greek. Like, there's still a lot of
Trauma.
coming in, finds the pot, has to tell Atreus, I'm a god boy, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. You're a god too. And it's just good storytelling. Good storytelling.
Oh man, yeah, that game was really good. All right, next question. This one is harder. So, which one of these does not belong to the 9 realms? A. Rottenheim, B. Jotunheim, C. Alfheim, or D. Musselheim. I think I butchered the pronunciation.
The false one is Rottenheim.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
That's where all zombies and all like the bad food go in a realm.
yeah, literally. That's where the zombie apocalypse starts.
Oh,
and then it makes its way.
Nordic zombie apocalypse. I'd watch that.
All right.
Never mind. They kind of already have zombies. I'm like, shit, never mind.
Okay, bonus question. How many times does Kratos say boy in God of War 2018? A, 56.
Oh, God.
B, 94. C, 119. Or D, 126.
They're so specific. So
before you answer,
yeah.
This is, I think, somebody just counted just like major like cutscene and like battle events. So like if he's saying it like you're in the midst of battle, I don't think they counted that. So
you said 56, 92, 100.
56, 94, 119, or 126.
Oh God. Let's go with the second one because it's the middle. It's the middle one.
What's that one?
90 something.
94. No, somebody said on Reddit, so I'm gonna go with them. It is 119.
I believe Reddit. Like Reddit is the most credible.
Okay, the Reddit, I will cite them. They counted and I'm gonna go with them with that. But it's so funny because when I played it, I took 124 shots.
Oh, so it is the highest one.
Yeah,
God
so
damn.
I think it's around that number. But
That's insane.
whoever knows the real boy count, I feel like it'll be the game developers.
Yo, he's got a name, Kratos.
Yeah, he's got a name. You know, okay.
Oh, that's
If
funny.
whenever I become a dad, I think I'm just for the jokes of it, I will have to just be like, boy. Like that's just it's just funny.
Stupid boy. Great.
Okay, so now that that is done, and you obviously you know your stuff.
I know myself. I'm a
Yeah, you know
nerd.
your stuff, nerd. um, what would you say to newcomers of the franchise? Let's see, because I know the older games are kind of old, because they came in like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Where should they start, or what like is like a selling factor for them to
Uh,
obviously partake in the 2018 one and then Ragnarok?
yeah,
How would you
honestly,
sell the game?
if you're if you're I'm not like a completionist. I'm not like a like I don't there's a couple of the like I only played 1, 2, 3, 2018 Ragnarok.
Mhm.
I never played Ascension, I never played Ghost of Sparta, but there's this wonderful thing out there called the internet. And
What?
honestly, if I were you, I would say look into this God of War franchise with the 2018 game and either watch a playthrough or play it. And then if you enjoy it, because I feel like the 2018 game really brings the story to like bare bones. You're just Kratos and Atreus on an adventure. They did a the good thing about the 2018 game was it was so simple
Yeah.
story wise. It wasn't crazy. You meet a couple cool characters. You meet Balder. You meet Freya. You find out about a couple things, and you're all you're doing is scattering Faye's ashes. After you play that game, and if you enjoy the vibe, you enjoy the dynamics of the characters, go on YouTube, watch. It sounds weird, but sometimes I would put on the cutscene movies, like where they take all the cutscenes and put them together into a movie. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, something like that. And just leave in the middle of this. Um, basically, just do that. Watch either the cutscenes or there's so many YouTube videos of God of War timeline explained, or
Yep. Yeah, I
like
watched that.
that. And then you can watch those, and it'll fill you in all the past stuff, and it'll probably talk about the 2018 game in more depth, and then play Ragnarok.
Yeah, I agree. I like so I went into the 2018 one not knowing anything, and I loved how it was just like we are spreading your mother's ashes, and then
Yeah.
it was just like we need to do this to get to that, we need to do this to get to that. So it just wraps you around in the story, and then obviously his name's Mulder.
Boulder.
Boulder. I keep butchering it. He just comes out of nowhere, and I'm just like, who the hell is this guy? And I'm like, I want to know more. So it really like brings you into the story. And then once you get involved with like Kratos' trauma and his past, I was just like opening up a new tab and I was like, what's his relationship with Athena? And then I got into the whole YouTube like spiral of this like
Yeah,
God of War lore. So the 2018 one did a real good job of like, you're new, come on down if you want to learn more. There's the internet for you.
it does. The new games do a really good job of like it's a reboot. It's like a
Yeah.
soft reboot, but it's one of the most iconic video game franchises of all time. They know that. The fans know that. It didn't just be like, oh yeah, I came from Greece and now I'm here. It was oh, you're like, there's this new character for people who have no idea what the franchise is. It's Kratos. Like, if you know
Yeah.
Kratos, you might know him through the mythos of video games and whatnot. But if you play the new game for the first time and you're not a like psycho like me, you know how many times he breathed in like the first game or something stupid like that. You are introduced to this character, and then throughout the game, you get little hints of the past
Yeah.
story. And again, how you're
I
saying the
loved it.
scene. Who is this ghost bitch? Why
Yeah.
when
Like
he
what? I was so scared.
like why is he scared? Why is he sad? Like why is he like I'm a monster? Like
Yeah.
gotta look into it, and then it's like oh crap, he really is a horrible person. But he redeems himself. Yeah, it's just
Amazing.
okay. Full circle. That's how I would play the games to a newcomer.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so obviously without spoiling,
Yeah,
where do you see the franchise going knowing the events of Ragnarok?
knowing the events of Ragnarok,
Yeah.
Without spoilers,
Without spoilers.
there's
Can't
gonna
do
be
it.
that's gonna be really hard because like
Yeah.
there's gonna be hopefully more games. I would love a new game. We just got Ragnarok like a month ago,
Yeah.
but we're all fans. We all want more. Without spoiling what? Well,
Can you do it? I don't know. Is it possible?
No, you could just. They're gonna be a new game.
Mm-hmm.
Without giving details, they could explore a different pantheon or a different mythology. That'd
I
be
thought so too.
um the big one that amongst fans is Egypt. I think
Yeah.
that'd be really cool because that also was the what's it called? The concept for these games, the
Mm-hmm.
2018 game was gonna be
Oh, that'd
set in
be so
Egypt.
cool.
So they already have the seeds sown. They could just be like at the end of Ragnarok, oh, Ragnarok played out. That game had its thing, and now
Let's go to Egypt. Okay. We're done.
yeah, okay.
All right,
Egypt
last
would be
question.
cool. Or one more. Egypt. Nah, we'll just stick with Egypt. I just
Okay.
want to see it. You hear us, God of War? Just give us. Come
All
on,
right,
Seth.
last question before we close out.
Yeah.
Leviathan Axe or Blades of Chaos?
Okay, so as a OG fan, I love the Blades of Chaos. The Blades of Chaos. Whenever I played the game, like both the 2018 and Ragnarok, you obviously have to alternate to play, but I would always favor the blades. I just like how they fight, how you move with them, what you can do with them. The Leviathan axe though in the new games is so epic, and for the character Kratos in 2018 game you have the blades and the axe. You start with the axe, you get the blades. How much do you know about Ragnarok?
Nothing at all. I'm shocked.
Okay, all I'll say without no spoilers, those aren't the only things you fight with.
Okay.
If you've played the other games or know about the other games, how you get different versions of the blades and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like that. They're not like different blade stuff, but like
Interesting.
play through Ragnarok and
Yeah.
and it's epic, and I like that one too. That one's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
But axe or blades, I'm looking at them just to get a blades. I gotta go with blades.
Blades, yeah. Nice.
I love the blades. They're so cool.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for joining me on the podcast.
Thanks
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Again, can you let people know where they can find you, all that jazz?
My name is Reed, Reed's Props Plus. You can find me on Instagram at Reed's Props Plus, TikTok at Reed's Props Plus, Instagram, TikTok. There's so many new platforms these days that are just
Whichever
TikTok
one.
Mostly Instagram is where I'm at. But yeah, Reed's Props Plus.
Perfect. Well, thank you. And hopefully I'll play Ragnarok soon. But yeah.
The holidays are here. No,
Right?
Second.